Good evening, friends and foes. Pull up a chair, pop a cold one. It's time to get a tad belligerent. Let's get silly.
All right, guys. On today's episode, the boys have a full-fledged football show. Again, last week we did the AFC. This week we do our NFC preview. Hope you guys like it. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 127 of A Tad Belligerent. This is your boy, T-Wade.
Benjamin Augustus.
And DannyMatt.
That's right, the boys are back and better than ever. And just like last week, we did a full-blown AFC preview. This week is an NFC preview. It's all football all the time. It's September. Deal with it. Love it. Here we go.
Woo!
I was
Go
Very true. I was actually telling Dan Ben before you got here that I'm in 9 fantasy leagues, 3 pick'em leagues, 2 survivor leagues.
He did not tell me that.
I know. I'm saying I told Dan that.
Okay.
Before you were here. So
Gotcha.
my here we are. It's like that. It's just.
Yeah, he's in.
That's a lot.
That would make me not want to do fantasy
No, I
anymore.
would quit.
Yeah.
I've done a bunch of fantasies before. It's not that bad.
So I used to do like 6, 7 in a year.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is stupid.
No, it's not. It's fun.
Partway through the year, I didn't care about some of the leagues, and I was
Why?
even good with them. I just didn't care enough about them.
Because there's only 2 I care about.
Because there has to be enough people in there that make me actually care about.
But my competitiveness and pride kept me going, and plus the money factor. Like if you win some money.
That's also true.
Yeah, but I was just, I don't know.
I
I was
said
in
how
them,
much-
and I was just like, cool, I'm winning this. It just, I didn't go and check my roster as much as I should.
I also like winning them because I know our league is the premier. So then when I go to these like sub-premier ones and I win, it justifies the value of our league. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So and somebody asked me, they said, would anyone, they need an extra person last second. They go, would anybody in your big league want to join? Guys, you can barely handle me. Like, you can't. Like, I made the semifinals like every year and win every once in a while. Like, it'd be no fun if there was 2 of us. Just A-bots, just fucking running shit in that thing.
Yeah, it's like, guys, I haven't won the Conference Cup yet. You expect me to bring some champions in?
Yeah, come on, get out of here.
I do bad in his work league, but it was a 10-man league for the longest time, and that was like my.
10-man leagues aren't even fair.
That was like I drafted. One year I drafted.
It was never a 10-man league, was it?
It was a 10-man league for all of the years until the last 2 years, and then it switched over to 12-man.
False.
Yeah.
False.
Because I came in last like 2 years. 2 years. And it was
No,
10.
I'm pretty sure it's been 12 like the entire time.
10-man feels
It's not a
so.
10-man league. I've played a 10-man league like once.
Oh, sorry. It has been a 12-man league.
Chris's
Sorry.
was 10 forever.
But still, it was. I always considered it like. It was always a low money league. It was only like $25.
Yeah.
So I was always like, this is a whatever league to me. Like 1 year I drafted 2 tight ends in a row, back to back. Like first and second round, I went Kelsey, and I went the next tight end.
Mark Andrews?
No, this was
No,
like
this was like 6.
this is
7 years
this is the 10th year of this league. So
Who was the top tight end 6 years ago?
It was like Gronk and Jimmy Graham.
yeah, it was Gronk and Jimmy Graham when they were both like top tight ends.
Yeah.
It was like,
That's
probably like
hilarious.
Gronk, Jimmy Graham.
No, that's 100% correct.
I think that was exactly what I did. It was Gronk, Jimmy
In
Graham,
his prime New Orleans years.
and their
That's
prime like
amazing.
New Orleans Patriots years. But it was only a $25 buy-in, so I was just like, fuck it, guys. Boom, boom. And then I had a quarterback round 3. Like, completely ignored running back, completely ignored wide receivers. Didn't do
Did
anything.
you do well?
No, I mean, no. I've come in no higher than 6, and I've come in last 1 time. But
Huh.
this was always, like, it's always been, like, not my typical strategy league. I try different shit, and sometimes it works. Like, sometimes...
Yeah, you've had some good years.
Yeah,
You haven't
sometimes
won
I
it,
have.
you've had some
I've
good
never
years.
I've never won it, but some of the strategies I tried, like I went multiple receivers the last couple of years, and that's what kind of made me switch to higher point valuing higher
It's
points.
all
and the
about
16
drafting
man league.
points.
But that's kind of like my testing league for the bigger league. Because
Okay.
if my draft strategy's working in that league, I kind of like to.
Well, speaking of that, you
I
got
won 3 out of the first 4 or 3 out of the first 5.
yeah, and a little
It
dice
was like-
dynasty.
It was 3 in 4 years and had a dynasty, Dyke Dynasty.
Dyke Dynasty.
And
That's
then,
He switched his name to Dyke Dynasty, and he's never won. since.
you
and
jinxed
then
yourself.
so now it became like Dynasty Rubble. It all came crashing down.
He's the
I
Aztecs.
haven't won in like 5 years.
That's hilarious.
He's the Aztecs. There's only ruins of him.
But this year, that's good. That's a pretty good one. I should have named myself that. This year, I
Not
named
too
my
late.
team. I'm back. And I had a
See,
great.
you're jinxing yourself.
But I had a great fucking. I named it before the draft, and I had a great
So you
fucking
set the
draft.
tone.
And I'm just letting everyone know I'm back.
Now, is this the league you guys were
And I'm
drafting
fucking
last
back.
night?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I'm fucking back.
Guess
how'd
what?
that go?
I had the third
Team
best
is
draft.
fucking awesome.
I had the third best draft. You had the second best draft.
Okay.
According to his,
out of 4 people.
according to
Four
his
versus one?
calculations. So, you know,
According to the
them fucking calculations, those little
The,
skinny
fantasy
short
pros.
Jim.
ESPN projections.
Fantasy Pro Sync.
Yeah. Is it ESPN you guys used or what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like, I just send the picture. I don't go off that.
But-
I just go off of how I feel, and it's fucking good.
This guy couldn't resist himself
I did not get a tight end.
and drafted all of the fucking Ravens backfield. Lamar, J.K., and Gus Edwards. He just couldn't help himself, Tyler.
Yeah. I
Well-
wanted Rashad Bateman too, but he got
Because he got so much crap in our league about not drafting Raven, so he had to draft some Ravens to counterbalance.
The crap was just not taking JK in our league. It had nothing to do with the
I thought maybe it was just strapping over other Ravens.
I
but
got
fair
Rashad Bateman.
Well, hopefully the shrapnel of his bad voodoo in our 60-man league doesn't shrapnel over to this
I'll
one.
say in one of my 9 teams, I have Dobbins in a few of them. I think Dobbins is going to have a really good year.
Well, listen, Ben.
I really
just
do.
to help you out. So, because if
You've always been a believer in Dobbins.
I have, yes.
in the first 6 weeks, bro, if it's looking bad, don't worry. The Cacao Canine does her little fucking meditating seances outside because she's fucking John Witch, not John Wick. She'll do a seance and anti voodoo you.
All right.
She's got her fucking burnt sage upstairs and everything, dude. She's a fucking psychopath. So,
All right.
Salem witch trials, Cacao Canine.
I should just have her do that before the season
She's
starts.
actually 900 years old. So, just a heads
Your
up.
younger sister? How old are
Yeah.
you?
I'm immortal. I'm immortal. She's immortal. I'm a Reginald Gupta. She's a little fucking off the rectum. Off the rectum.
She was adopted.
Just adopted.
She showed up in a basket
Off the rectum.
wearing a Browns jersey.
I got pictures of me as a kid in Browns gear.
Well, yeah, your Ohio days.
Yeah.
Hey, loser.
Yeah. It's before the Ravens got to town.
Ugh, gross.
I also think I have a picture in a Lions shirt and maybe Cowboys stuff and maybe Redskins stuff.
You're just all over the
My
fucking
family's
place.
all over the place, bro.
Jesus, man.
My uncles really tried hard to make me a Cowboys fan, and I was leaning Cowboys, and the Ravens came to town and saved me.
Well, speaking of the NFC East,
Yeah.
do we want to start with them or do we want to end with them?
And we
We'll
got
start with these. So,
so end with the East, right?
well, if you
I
want
feel
to,
like that's probably the best division in the NFC.
What if whatever we
By
do
far.
with the East, we end with the Washington his team.
all right, we can do that. We can do that. So, anybody listening last week knows the format that we're doing. We go through all the teams in the conference. We based off of FanDuel over/under online of win totals. The boys discuss if we think the team will be under, if we think the team will be over, and at the very end we pick our conference champion. So last week we each picked our NFC. We'll pick our NFC, and then we'll do our Super Bowl winner at the end, since everyone now knows who we got.
Here we
Okay?
go.
All right. So fair enough. So we will start. We went to the North.
Whatever.
Let's do the North. AFC North or NFC North. Let's start with the Green Bay Packers. Okay. So the Green Bay Packers their line is at 7.5. Okay. The North, the NFC is actually, I thought, a lot harder to do than the AFC. One, the AFC has better teams, so it's easier to kind of say you're a good team, you should have a chance to go over. The NFC is a lot of average teams, so when you have average teams, you get average lines, so it's hard to kind of determine if you're going to go over or under. With Green Bay, the line's at 7.5. That means if they were to go under, they'd be 7-10, which is not a good year. I'm going to go over on this for a couple reasons. They have a pretty good defense still. Preston Smith, they losing Zadarius is a little of a bad beat.
Yeah.
But they're a young, fast defense. I still think Alexander's one of the better corners in the league.
Jair.
Yeah, Jair Alexander is very good.
I agree.
Darnell Savage as a free safety is very good.
Shout out
The
Maryland.
Maryland, shout out Maryland. They still have 2 good running backs. They still have a pretty good offensive line. We were told all last year that they had good receivers, and they were fine.
They're going to be a run-heavy team anyway.
They should be.
I hope.
Part of the reason I want them to go over is because if you guys listen to my AFC, I think the Jets will do poorly with Aaron Rodgers. I think I want that to happen and the Packers to do well without Aaron Rodgers.
So this is more about want, though.
Well, no, that little part is, but I still believe there's a.
I think they're slightly over. I don't think they're going to be like.
No, they're not going to win like double digits. I don't think that.
I think if they win 9 games, that's like a great season for them. But I can easily see
even if they go 8, that's over on this line.
Correct.
There's a saying in basketball called the Patrick Ewing theory. Basically, what that means is, even though you have the superstar, when they leave, or when they're there, the oxygen sucked out of the room and they leave, everybody kind of relaxed, and everybody else plays better. So everyone talks about how like great players make other people play better. Well, sometimes great players, because they're just so big, they push everybody down. I kind of feel like that's going to happen this year with Rodgers. I think there's a kind of an exhale and a relaxation now in Green Bay.
So I partially agree with you.
So that's why I don't love this pick. I don't love this pick. I don't like the line. I'm going to go over, but I'm not super confident.
I feel like Rodgers had that effect in Green Bay last year.
Yes.
I do not feel like he's going to have that effect in New York this year.
No.
Green Bay had to deal with him. He was there.
Right.
New York, they have a good team, and they had to deal with this subpar little blonde punk running around, fucking ruining everything for him. And they're like, "Thank you. We have a professional. We have some."
Right. Well, they're dealing with the 1 year versus the decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think having him in for a year, even if he's back for a year next year, you can survive a year or two of that. It's not a problem. But the Pack is back, baby. Feel the love. Green Bay is going over. Green Bay, I got over. Rodgers is gone. Everyone can relax a little bit more. At ELE, everybody love everybody.
Everybody love
that locker room. It's there.
Yes.
I think they will have.
What are you going?
They are going over.
Over 7.5.
They will have over 7.5. They will have the pressure. I think is kind of going to be off of them. All the Rodgers questions and everything, and I think that's just gone. They're all more around the same age. Like Love has a connection with those receivers. Do you have more in common? I think it's just going to.
And we're going to talk about too. Nobody in this division is great. There's a lot of flaws with each team. So like, there's a team that could, and Green Bay could easily be this team, go like 4-2 in the division.
They got a really bad schedule.
Yeah.
Like it's easy.
People.
It's a really easy schedule.
Lions
they play the South, right? The NFC South.
Yes.
Yes, I mean the NFC South is by far the worst
Lions
division.
have become a favorite of a lot of people.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Lions in a second.
But like, yeah, you're right. There's not a strong team. There's
No.
a strong division. You're right.
Like the Vikings won 13 games last year, but was the most
Everyone
fraudulent
predicts the
13
downfall from
win team in the history of the
they
world.
were like one possession wins.
11-0, 1 possession wins. Horrendous defense.
Yes.
So that was it. So you can beat the Vikings. You can beat the Packers. I mean the
the
Lions. You can very easily beat the Bears, who had the
Yeah.
worst division or worst record in the league last year. So that's part of the reason why I like the Packers too. Is their vision not that strong.
Yeah.
So I also think that with how easy the NFC is, like, and how top heavy the AFC is, there's not going to be a ton of teams that have only like 3 or 4 wins. I think it's going to be really hard to get less than 6 wins. I think the worst team in the league could have.
There are going to be 2 teams in the NFC we're going to talk about that I think are going to
Correct.
Really
there is
battle
one team
out.
that is just not even playing.
And there's a sneaky team that I'm going to bring up to you guys. It's also going to battle out for horrendousness.
Okay.
I think I'm going as well with the over. I think they win actually 8 games this year. So
I don't think they make the playoffs. I think they go over the win total but miss the playoffs.
They are my dark horse team to slide into a wild card.
Again, if you're winning 8-9 games, you're absolutely
How
in the
many
hunt.
wins do you think? How many wins do you think they're going to win?
Last year they won 8 or 9. They won 9 last year. I think they won 9.
I think they take a game back. I think they win 8.
It.
I think they take 1 game.
I think they don't make the playoffs.
They could potentially get 10 wins this year.
It's on the table. Again, like they mentioned, they have a weak schedule. There's opportunities there for them.
They got
to
a weak
absolutely take
beginning
that
They
stuff.
could also win like 2 games.
They could because Jordan Love could just suck.
But yes, we don't know. But I'm taking the positive.
They
side
got a
of
weak
that.
beginning and end. They're November, end of October to beginning of December. It's kind of at home against Minnesota, home against the Rams, at Pittsburgh, home against the Chargers, at Detroit, home against Kansas City.
That's tough.
At least the tougher games are home.
Correct.
But that's still tough.
That's tough.
But Pittsburgh, Chargers, and Kansas City, and then you got Detroit. You got 2 division games thrown in there too.
That's in December.
Yeah,
That's
tough, but
from
but
October
it gives
to
love
last
in
week
that
of October to
offense.
December 3rd.
Okay.
It gives love
So
in
it's
that
not cold
offense
enough yet.
gains to
Correct.
get
It's not
together,
cold enough for them
which is
to
good.
affect it.
Right. Okay. All right, we're on.
And they have an early bye, so it's like
week 5, right?
week 6.
Week 6. Okay.
So it's like they got
Yeah, that's not good.
fucking 11 games, 11 weeks at once.
Okay. All right. So we're on agreement. Let's head now to the Bears, who for some reason have the same number at 7.5. I couldn't be more confident about this. They're going to go under. The Bears, people forget, were the worst team in the NFL last year. And tell me what they did to warrant having a line at 7.5. DJ Moore is a fine receiver. He's not a tier 1 receiver, though. I think he's a bottom tier 2. Who did they get in the draft? I think they drafted a lineman or like a tackle. Like, cool, great. But they brought in Draymond Evans from Buffalo. Tremaine Evans. That's awesome.
They brought him in to replace Roquan. He's not as good as Roquan.
Exactly. This expectation that Justin Fields is going to be this MVP candidate now is ludicrous. And I'm a Justin Fields fan. Justin
They
Fields
also got Yannick Ngakoue, but
okay. Not
I get it. I
yeah.
get it.
Not bumping the line.
He's not making up a win or a loss.
No, he shouldn't at least.
They got good safeties, but I don't even know.
But they've had those guys. Like Eddie Jackson, they've had those
Yeah,
guys.
I don't know who Jalen Johnson is.
Jalen Johnson.
He's the corner. I know who Kyler Gordon is. He's a
Where's
good
he?
corner.
Where do you go to school?
Yes, I find out. Utah.
I don't know. Yeah,
2020 second round pick.
He was a 2020 second round pick.
Mhm.
Okay, so I mean, I'm sure he's a fine player.
I mean,
I'm
he
sure
was
he's
on.
fine.
I mean, he was
But
on the team that was the last place team, and the defense sucked last year.
Defense
So
sucked. Justin, here's my bigger problem with Justin
they're
Fields.
relying on a lot of Justin Fields because DJ Moore, Daryl Mooney, and Chase Claypool is kind of a shit wide receiver core.
Right.
They're relying on DJ Moore to do a lot, and Daryl Mooney wants to trade. He's already requested a
they're
trade.
running Deontay Foreman as a running back.
Who's fine, a fine player.
Yeah.
But not worth thinking they're going to win 8 games.
Yeah.
Here's a stat
They're keeping Nathan Peterman on their team.
that says
I will say
That
that
sucks.
running quarterbacks can have success and they tend to win you some games.
right.
So that's the benefit they have, and they feel like they unlocked what Fields can do last year, and they put some weapons around him. They traded for Claypool last year.
Claypool
they have an offseason with him in there. Yes, he's big playability, but Fields hasn't been throwing the ball great downfield.
No.
I like DJ Moore, but if he's
Like-
your
like
best
Andrew Tyler,
receiver,
though,
that's an
he's
issue.
Top,
He should be your
he's a top
second.
tier
He should
two
be your
receiver.
second.
He's not a tier 1.
He's
No.
a tier 2 receiver for
Yeah.
sure. If he was like
If he's your 2, you got a really good pass.
like if he was swapped with Waddle and he was a second receiver to Tyreek
He'd
on
be
Miami,
great.
that's like such a perfect compliment
Yes,
for
he'd be great.
Tyreek Hill. You
And
know
by the
what I
way,
mean?
Waddle would be a big upgrade over him.
I agree. I think Waddle's a better tier 2 receiver than
Fields is going to have
DJ
good
Moore.
fantasy numbers.
Yes.
All this money
They're
on
gonna be a
him
better team,
being the MVP. There's
He's
more
like,
money
I
on
think
him
he has
being
like the 6th or
That's
7th best
insane.
odds, which is
There's
That's
more money on
insane.
him winning the MVP or bet
That's
on
insane.
him winning MVP
Yeah.
than Mahomes.
That's insane.
Now, part of that's because of the odds.
They're like the top 3 guys put
Right.
together.
But you have to be a good team, though. You can't be
Well,
a good team.
that's the other point. You're right, Dan. Nobody wins the MVP if you don't go to the playoffs. That's how you're
The
right.
thing is, and the argument people make is Chicago, as of the start of the year, they have the easiest schedule in all of football. There's the
You're right.
schedule.
But other teams, when they look
Kinda.
at their schedule and they see Chicago, they go, "Wow, that's an easy game because Chicago stinks."
Yeah,
No,
but,
but
it's
hold
going to be a
on.
lot of stinky teams playing each other.
Hold on. First 6 weeks, they play 2 division games. They play at Kansas City and at Washington. That's
they won't
kind
be
of tough.
favored. I mean, that's gonna be like they're not gonna Washington to blow them out, but they're not gonna be favored in that game for sure.
And
Washington
they
will be
play
favored.
Denver week 4. And I'm like low on Denver, but
That's not an easy out.
they might end up being okay.
Yeah.
And if they're back, if Sean Payton turns Russell Wilson around, fucking
Right.
Sarah starts fucking him in his ass and he gets pumped up, boom, we're in.
Enjoy this family-friendly episode.
Yo, that was.
And then Russ is back.
That's like a me joke. That's something I usually say.
Take
so
it out.
what's the over-under again?
7.5.
I can take it
Tell
out
me,
if you
like,
want to.
is there any world they win 8 games? I say no. I don't know how that
There
happens.
is a world, yes. I just don't think it's
All
this
the 31 teams going to play and crash
one.
together?
I just don't
Like,
think it's this one.
It's not this one. Not this round.
I could see them putting together 6 wins.
Here's the stat that I was going to say that is why it's not going to happen. Chicago Bears had the second lowest pass attempts in a season in the last 45 years last year.
Don't worry.
Part of the reason, and the reason they're not, even in games they were losing, they were just running. Because, and this is kind of a little bit of my Lamar thing, you can't just force a guy to throw. They got to be good at it. So if you're trying to win, you do what they do best. In this case, Justin runs way better than he throws.
Which is funny because he didn't run that much in college.
It's fun. I agree, but the coaching staff,
people actually wanted him to run more. But props to him, he worked on passing because
but
he knew that's what he needed to go to the next
Anthony
level.
Richardson's about to say, "Hold my beer."
But the coaches aren't confident in letting him go at it. Obviously, at least like to the NFL standard.
Yeah. And last year he broke so many long runs.
It was
statistically that doesn't break that many long runs.
Right.
Unless you're Chris Johnson.
Right. Yeah. If you're making your quarterback having 50-yard touchdown runs to win games, that's a very
Chris
flawed
Johnson's the
system.
only one in like NFL history who breaks that many long touchdowns.
Yeah.
I'm going under as well.
Yeah. So we're all the same.
I hope Fields. I'm rooting for Fields
As you should. Yeah.
I hope
think they
gets
get
better at
7 wins,
passing.
though.
And I'm rooting for the Bears. I would like to see them win 8-9 games.
I think they go just
as of right now, I have to go with the under.
I just, again, they were the worst. They won 3 games last year, I think. I think it was 3 games. They're the worst team in the league.
Ugh.
To have a 5-game improvement with the 3 big additions we talked about is kind of ludicrous.
They might win 6 games.
And I think that'd be would be progress for their rebuild project, which they're very much in.
They won't be the worst team in the league.
They will not be.
No, they won't.
Yeah, I agree with you. So
they'll still probably have a top 5 pick though.
Good chance.
But I think they are the 5th pick. I think they are like. There's going to be a big gap between the bottom 3 teams and then the rest of the top 10.
Brock Bowers on that offense would look kind of nice.
He would. Yes, he would.
Yeah.
Yes, he would.
That would look kind of nice.
That'd be kind of hot.
Yeah.
Or do you go with just the bread and butter Notre Dame left tackle? You're starter for 9 years and your life is good.
Because right now,
but the way you're running though, in the passing game, the play action game, the run blocking, Bowers can do everything. I think that'd be pretty sexy.
You're not wrong. All right.
So what is Braxton Jones like a good left tackle? What's he been like for them? Can he switch to right? Because if they can get that Notre Dame left. And then put Braxton Jones could go to right tackle?
Maybe.
Oh, never mind. Remember, this is the kid that
they got him and just cut the guy.
Was the 5th round pick, and he just beat him out in camp. From OTAs to camp, he just beat out the left tackle, and he just been cemented at left tackle for.
He might be able to go to right tackle. I don't know.
That would probably be the move.
I mean, either way, like 70% of the left tackles in the league right now would be forced to switch to right tackle if they got the Notre Dame kid.
Correct. or the Penn State kid.
Or the Penn State
kid. Yeah, either one of those. So,
you think Brock Bowers is really going to be a top 5-10 pick?
So I was reading something about him. Daniel Jeremiah was talking about him, and
not to get off topic.
And we can cut this out, but the comparison that he made to Bowers was Dallas Clark, because he's not like super big like some of these tight ends that came in, but so you like a Dallas Clark. And just kind of, he'll catch everything, he'll like the block, he'll be in the backfield on motion, he'll do a ton of different stuff with him. He's just a great football player, but he's not like super long or super big. Mm-hmm. So like a Dallas Clark, dude, if you can get a Dallas Clark, you're pretty happy, I think.
Yeah.
You're not taking a Dallas Clark 5th overall.
He's got a test.
Dallas Clark was a Pro Bowl tight end. I mean, he was really freaking good.
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we taking him 5th overall though?
I'm considering.
I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure, but it's not guaranteed he becomes Dallas Clark.
I feel like he's a safer bet.
Sure. All right.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Next, we're talking about the Detroit Lions.
All right. Okay? The darling of the NFC.
Yeah, big time darling.
So, North.
This is where we might disagree.
Sorry, I always thought Dallas Clark was good, but also a product of playing with Peyton Manning.
It's a little bit of both.
I wouldn't take Dallas. He was in the first round.
Move on.
So I'm really getting stuck on that one. I thought Brock Bowers was like a legit prospect.
No, he really is.
Dallas Clark is not a first round pick.
Again, you're getting a Pro Bowl tight end, but
we made a Pro Bowl one season.
That's being semi Pro Bowl tight end.
All right, 10 years. It doesn't.
So we will discuss this in April during our mock draft episode.
Moving on.
All right, to the Detroit Lions, which we might finally disagree here. I'm actually going big under on the Lions. The line is set at 9.5.
9.5, and you're going big under.
Big under, like I'm not saying they're gonna win like 5 games, but like
You're just very
big
confident they're not
like
winning
8
10
wins.
games.
I think like an 8 win is a big under. Like I don't like the Lions nearly as much as the world does.
I'm confused by their roster.
That's
Okay,
let me go ahead.
break
Yeah,
this
yeah.
down for you.
Yep.
They're keeping three quarterbacks plus one on IR. They're keeping 4 running backs and 4 tight ends.
Yep.
Meanwhile, while Jameson Williams is suspended, they have 5 total receivers.
It's not a lot.
And they have what looks to be like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 offensive linemen.
That's light. Most teams carry 10.
And 3 of them are right guards.
They might have more
They have
position flexibility. Maybe might have more
I think they
position
might
flexibility.
have flexibility,
But so
I don't understand.
here's
They seem way more balanced on defense, but Dan
They also
Campbell's
could
a
have
defensive
more keep linemen on their practice squad that they can call up.
player. Sure.
maybe. So here's my
That
thing with the
seems a weird
Lions.
offensive
The
move.
Lions won, I think 7 games last year.
9 games last year.
That's a
Or
lot.
they win.
They won. Yeah, they won 9.
They won 9 last year. Okay, they were 9-8 last year.
Ooh.
They're Jameson Williams is suspended for the first 6 games. That's a problem.
They got a
Amon St. Brown
tough schedule.
Amon St. Brown's very good. We know
Okay,
that.
he's great.
They got rid of Hawkinson and haven't really replaced him.
No.
It's a good one.
I'm in a little bit more of a wait and see with Jared Goff if he can duplicate last year. He was really good last year. I don't know. That might be the new Jared Goff, and then if it is, God bless him. And then the Lions could be great. I think there's a little regression with him. The other thing is they lost in free agency. I think it's like 18 rushing touchdowns between Williams and Swift, and they lost a lot of production scores.
Yes.
And they brought in Gibbs Montgomery. I don't know if Gibbs Montgomery scores many. I think they lose touchdowns in that group. Now, if you can gain those touchdowns and passing touchdowns, maybe. But again, without Jameson Williams for the first 6 games, it's hard to see that. So I see their offense just as an overall whole taking a step back. I know Gibbs is the electric new thing because he beats linebackers in one-on-one drills online, so he thinks he's the greatest thing ever. But then I also look at their defense.
They're hoping he's Swift that he just stays healthy and is on the field.
That's their hope. Now, he's probably a little more electric than Swift in all seriousness, but it's a rookie running back who's going to be more of a pass-catching back. Dave Montgomery's going to be the first and second down guy. At least that's what I assume. And then you look at the defense. They invested a lot of money in the secondary, but they didn't get any superstars. Their best one they got was the Eagles kid,
CJ
Gardner, who is a good player, but we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see what he does when he doesn't have 70 sacks in front of him, which he's not going to get in Detroit.
He's got Charles Harris in front of him instead of freaking Fletcher Cox and all the Georgia boys.
And Hargrove, and yeah, exactly. So that's that.
They got the rookie from last year.
Aiden Hutchinson is probably their best defensive player.
He's probably the best name brand.
Jack Campbell is starting at their weak side line.
Well, that was their first round pick.
Pretty sure.
Yeah. The first round pick this year.
So their draft was very confusing. We talked about it during the draft recap. To trade up for the running back and then to draft the linebacker, we'll see. So bottom line, I'm not super sold on the Lions. Now, Dan, you said they have a hard schedule. What are some of the highlights of the schedule?
Let me run it through real quick.
So I think they are a better team than they were last year.
Oh yeah, you.
Oh yeah, go ahead and give you kind of. Well, Dan's
I
give you.
I have the over.
Okay.
With them, and while Dan's going to go over the schedule, look at Red was talking to me about this. You look at the final, I believe, 6 games of their schedule.
This year or last year?
This year.
Okay.
And they're all indoors.
Okay.
And when Jared Goff, throughout his career, even included with the Rams, plays indoors, he's a Pro Bowl quarterback. He's a stud.
Well, I mean, this last year was his best year, which was mostly indoors. So yes.
And he
out west, he didn't play a lot of indoor games.
No, but the Rams were in an indoor stadium in St. Louis.
I don't think he ever.
He's never in St. Louis, right?
Yeah.
But throughout his career, he is a Pro Bowl quarterback when he plays indoors. His stats it's night and day.
I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 of his last 6 games are indoors.
My other thing is,
Because Denver and Chicago's not indoors, right?
do we believe
Denver's
that?
at Lions. Lions are
Oh, Swirls. Yes,
Lions Stadium's indoors.
correct.
Hey,
Sorry.
do we believe that Dan
5
Campbell's
and 6.
a good coach? Like as far as managing game, decision making. Like you think Campbell's actually a good coach, or is he just like great on the podium, great in Hard Knocks, everybody loves him?
I think he is because they've gotten better since he's gotten there.
Well, the bar was really low, but yeah.
Yeah, it was, but the bar's been low in Detroit for a long time, and they have more hype around them now.
They got
than
definitely
ever
have hype.
have. The only
They
time
definitely
they
have
had,
hype.
the only time they were making any noise was Stafford and Calvin prime, and even then they never really had the defense to go with it.
Right.
They've been building this team from the inside out. Like they're building up a defensive line. They're building up an offensive
Well, they
line.
definitely have the
They're
edge
not
rushers,
they're
yeah.
not all household names yet, but they've put money and they put draft picks into that line.
Yeah.
And they're building up on it from the inside out, the way a team should be built. I've been a Lions fan for the past 4 years, since Campbell's gotten there, the way he's been building this team before the rest of the world jumped on him. So I'm over, no doubt about it to me. Over.
All right.
This is one of my strongest picks in the whole. In all of our picks we're doing.
So
this
do
is
you
one
have
of
them
my
winning?
strongest picks.
Do you have the money in the division?
I do have the winning division.
At what? 11 and
Say
6?
12.
12.
Whoa, holy shit!
Okay.
So you
Dan
have
finding
them,
12 wins on that
you have
schedule.
them running through their division.
I have them being the best. I have the Vikings falling off from last year and then
Okay.
being up there. They won't have the record the Vikings had last year.
Okay.
It could be 11 wins, but I think they can win 12.
All right. Well, let's run over their schedule a little bit.
Starting with the Kansas City Chiefs on
Yeah.
Thursday night. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Hold on.
But if they do, 12 wins.
Okay. So, their first 8 games, they have one divisional matchup against the Packers week 4. So that's
In Green Bay, by the way.
in Green Bay.
I
But,
assume more.
so they have 5 tough games, in my opinion, including their divisional matchup. But they have, starting off the season, Thursday Night Football at Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean, that's
That's a loss.
yeah.
Just off
Unfortunately
top,
for them,
that's
yeah.
a loss.
Yeah.
No
Most
offense.
likely, yes.
Second week, home against Seattle. Seattle
That could be
is
a
a
game.
tough
That could be a
team.
game of the week. You could
That's
see some
a tough-
offensive firepower.
Yeah. That game's at 1
judge.
o'clock,
That
unfortunately.
could be a game of
Correct.
the week.
I don't know how to judge that team. That'll be a real good indicator of where each team is.
Yes.
Whoever wins that game, that's gonna be a great indicator.
I agree.
I think they have an easy game the next week against Atlanta, which I think is their first almost guaranteed win.
Mhm.
But that's assuming that Bijan isn't just
They can stop the run.
taking over
Right.
and it's getting like by the week 3 he might already be at like 35 touches a game, just dominating type situation.
Yeah.
So we don't know. That's a toss up. If they lose Seattle, I can see easily Atlanta just coming in and being like back like.
If Atlanta had any different quarterback, I would love them. But we'll talk about that in a second.
But I think that's their first they should win that game is Atlanta. Then at Green Bay.
It's tough.
That's gonna be a tough game.
I think
First
they could
division
lose it.
game.
It's a division game, first division game. I think they could lose that game
They could also win it.
for sure. Then
I think they could lose every game on the schedule. I think they could also win.
the next 2 games I think are wins for them, and that's Carolina and at home against Carolina and at Tampa. Tampa's a shit show, so I think they'll win that. But Carolina, if Bryce Young is still healthy at this time, I think they could get diced the fuck up.
Bryce Young could be in the morgue.
If he's still upright at this time, they could get lit the fuck up by Bryce Young. I mean, go watch Josh Allen on Bussin' with the Boys. When there's white defensive players, that's a milk check. That's milk check.
That's an absolute lie.
And they got 2 white linebackers. Not even a lie.
Yeah.
Fucking Josh Allen put Milk Compton in a body bag because he was talking to Will Compton.
Yeah.
And Taylor Lewan was like, hey, what's the call if Will Compton's up on Tennessee? Oh, that's milk check all day.
I even look at their last 4
And
games.
they got
this time.
2 white linebackers. That is an issue.
I mean, their last 4 games, they hope the easiest game
But
is.
hold on.
Go.
finishing out their 8-game start before their bye week is at Baltimore and home versus Las Vegas. I think they lose both of those games. If
I think they are a better team than Las Vegas, dude. Las Vegas was garbage.
If Garoppolo's
I don't
up
think
by
they got
them,
any
I
better
think they
this year.
lose.
Las Vegas.
They got better when Josh Jacobs came back and said he was going to play for them.
Detroit is a better team than Las Vegas.
Depends. Las Vegas loves to do their own game, and that's give Josh Jacobs
They were a
the
better
ball.
team last year, and I think Detroit got better, and Vegas got worse.
I'm not really 100% sure. I don't know. That should be a game Detroit should win. But that could also be a game like Devontae Adams has like 180 yards.
And I'm going to let you know,
They
I'm
got
excited
players.
for the Ravens-Lions game for the tailgate and everything. That game, though, I don't consider that an easy win for the Ravens.
It's not
I think
easy,
we should.
no.
There's not an easy win, but I think
Yeah.
we should beat them.
We should, but we don't know how our quarterbacks are going, and their offense could be rolling.
I look at their last 4 games as tougher than what you talked about. They're host the Broncos, which just whatever you think about Sean Payton, Russell Wilson, they have an elite defense, so that's tough. And then they go to Minnesota, to Dallas, host the Vikings.
Yeah,
like that last 4 is brutal.
So
facing Minnesota twice in 3 weeks is tough.
Yeah.
But they're going to win one of those.
Maybe. So
hold on.
All right, go ahead.
The back end of the schedule, which what I was just about to get to,
Mhm.
they have 5 of their 6 divisional games.
Yeah.
In the last 8 of
Which are going to be knockout, dragged out fights.
after their bye week, they're at Los Angeles for the Chargers. That's a tough game because they're going to
2
put
of
up
them are
a ton
against
of
the Bears,
points.
but you guys have said are a terrible team
But
this year.
it's still division, so I can see every team, even it being bad, going.
I can see Detroit.
Half and half.
I can see Detroit going 3-3 in the division.
Yes.
3 of those 2 wins being Bears. So split with the Packers. Or 4-2 would be a very good division.
Good. Both of you picked the under, so I
But
can get this easy done.
New Orleans, 2 against Minnesota.
You spend
and
too
at
much time
Dallas.
on their schedule giving terrible insight, Dan. We need to move on.
All I'm saying is, fucking.
That you think the Raiders are better.
No, I'm saying that they have a tough schedule, and 9.5 wins is kind of a lot. I can see them easily being 8 or 9 wins. So I'm going with the under.
Yeah. There we go. All right. Next we have the Vikings. Their line is set at 8.5. Remember, the Vikings won 13 games last year. So
Everybody's thinking they're going to take a huge step back.
I do think they take a huge step back, but I still think they hit the over.
Yeah,
like-
because that's just a low over.
I think they win like 10 games or something this year.
Yeah.
Which is still an over. They replaced Thielen with Jordan Addison, which
I think
should
that's
be an upgrade. Should be an upgrade. They'll have a full year of Hopkins. Remember, they only got Hopkinson
And they
at the
paid
trade
him,
deadline.
so he's pumped.
He's pumped. I think Madison is a dude.
They're just going to give it to Madison.
Yeah, whatever Madison's played, he's been a boss. They don't have to worry about the Devin Cook shit. Now their defense still sucks. They didn't really do much to improve on that. So
I like Daniel Hunter though.
I mean, no, he's a very good pass rusher, but the rest of the defense is still
Correct. The rest of the
garbage.
defense is ass.
But I still think like the Vikings will have a very good offense. Now, part of the reason they're going to take a step back is and again, we mentioned this earlier talking about other teams, is they were 11-0 in 1 possession games. That's not going to happen again.
Correct.
But even if you go 7-4 in those games, you're still winning 9 games. You're still hitting the over on this. You know what I mean? So that's why I think they're going to go the over. It's just because I think the line is way too aggressive low. I agree with Ben. Ben mentioned a few times that they're going to take a big step back. I totally agree. But I just don't think they take that big of a step back to where they don't hit the 8.5 line.
I still think they're the best or second best team in their division easily.
They're definitely battling for the title, I think, throughout. Again, we talked about they play the Lions 2 in the last 4 weeks. Those are going to be very key games.
Yeah, it won't be an easy road like it has been for them the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Especially with Aaron Rodgers being
Gold.
washy the last couple of years after his MVP back-to-backers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think they go over, but just over.
Yeah, 9-10
I think
wins.
they win 9-10 games.
I think it's just over as well. It's funny, actually. So the NFC North for me is going to be one of the most improved divisions
Overall, but not
Overall.
top heavy anymore.
No, it's not going to be as top heavy because
Correct.
it's an improved division. The winner of that division could have 11 games.
The Wiener.
And it'll be the Lions with 11 games.
All right, so there we are. So let's head out
Moving
west.
on.
Let's head out west. San Francisco. Let's start with them. Their line's at 10.5. I'm going way over on this. I think San Francisco is absolutely loaded as a roster.
One of the two great teams.
I mean, literally, they're great.
It all comes down to Purdy.
It comes down to Purdy
And the running back staying healthy.
and as was
But
saying,
not
health.
even really though. Not in the regular season. Postseason success comes down to their quarterback, but they can get through They can get through the regular season with me and you back there. They're just going to give the rock to all three of their running backs.
They got yeah. So
Probably.
obviously, McCaffrey.
7 of the running backs get hurt every year. So
100%. But I'm saying they'll have regular season success. It's just Purdy's got to stay healthy during the postseason.
yeah, they're going to win the games. It's just.
So they guaranteed 4-0 just because of their division and the two bottom feeders in that division. They probably at worst split with the Seahawks at worst. So then you're looking at 5-1, maybe even 6-0 your division.
Yep.
So now you just got to win 5 games elsewhere to get over,
Now,
5 or 6 games.
It's going to be tough.
Now they got a first place schedule,
Mm-hmm.
so they're going to play.
It's going to be tough.
They play the East, which is a solid division.
And they play the AFC North.
In the AFC North, which is a solid division. But, in fact, they start the season in Pittsburgh, which is a tough game. There's a chance they don't have Bosa because the Bosa situation is still not resolved.
But they played Pittsburgh and Cleveland at there, and then they play Cincinnati and Baltimore home. So they got the two better teams.
Probably the two better teams
at home, and they have the two supposedly weaker teams.
Yeah,
on the
and
road,
that weaker term is relative because
they're because it's still going to be good, but. I would rather play Joe Burr at home than Lamar Jackson at home. And travel to me than
part. They also got Hargrove from the Eagles, who's one of the best pass rushing defensive tackles, as if they needed more pass rushing help. Yeah. Their offense is just loaded. Elijah Mitchell should we've been valid points about the running back health is there, but
whoever's there produces, so it doesn't.
Right, and when we do these predictions, we mostly presume health when we do over-unders.
Their fourth running back is Tyrion Davis-Price, who kind of was good for them in pinch roles last year.
So they have guys that fit roles perfectly. Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, Juszczyk.
Shanahan has a great offense.
I mean, they got to figure it out. So I think
their defense is so nasty. Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave.
To me, it's an easy over. We don't even need to spend.
Yeah, I wouldn't spend too much more time. It's an easy over.
Agreed.
All right, next one's Seattle 8.5. This one's a tough line. So I like Seattle's draft, bringing Witherspoon and JSN.
Ooh, brutal bye week 5.
Yeah, that sucks.
That's brutal.
That's not good.
I mean, once again, you're looking at 4-0 in the division.
Correct.
And then you're probably losing 1
So,
or 2 games.
Worst case, you're 4-2.
All 4 of the AFC North games are after the bye week.
That's tough.
Worst case, you're 4-2, and you have to find 5 wins out there.
Right.
And
again, you're playing 2 good divisions in the NFC East and the AFC North.
Yeah.
And only 1 division game before the bye week. So 5 of the 6 division games and all 4 of the AFC North games. And they play Dallas and Philly after the bye.
Well, that's not going to get to play any NFC South teams.
That's a
Those-
tough
Well, they should
sled.
have a NFC South team.
That's a tough sled.
They have Tennessee, AFC South.
But
No,
They don't have
the
anybody
Tennessee
else.
is their cross conference
That's
matchup.
Carolina.
Yeah, Carolina, because they both came in 3rd or 2nd.
Yeah.
Carolina,
Okay.
But that should be a win for them.
Yeah.
that's a tough hoe.
Geno Smith is the linchpin of this whole thing. Is Geno Smith last year the real Geno, or was the first 5 or 6 years of his career the real Geno?
Mm-hmm.
That's where it really comes down to for me. I think they're really good. They got 2, again, with drafting Witherspoon, have 2 very good corners. They drafted 2 rookie tackles who've done very well. Obviously, Kenneth Walker is a very good running back.
And
they got
Jackson
3 really good receivers. They got Noah Fant.
JSN to that.
I mean, their rush defense is still bad. Teams last year were gashing them.
Yeah.
I mean, the famous Carolina Panther game, they had almost 300 rushing yards. So they didn't really resolve that issue. So that could
They
be
run a really weak 3-4.
Yeah, who's their front 3?
Dramonte Jones, Jaron Reed, and Mario Edwards Jr.
Yeah, that's not going to get it done. Who are their backers?
Boye Mafe, Jordan Brooks, Bobby Wagner, and Uchenna and
Yeah,
Nwosu.
old Bobby
Oh,
Wagner.
they got Bobby back.
Yeah, old Bobby Wagner's not going to get it done. So again, that's
I think
how
that-
teams are going to try to beat them is
Yeah.
on the ground.
The defense sucks, but their offense is
They got two good
fucking
corners.
loaded.
They got two good corners.
Yeah, Witherspoon and Rick
Yeah,
Wood,
they get the pass rush there.
Tyreek Woolen.
And that's from last year. He was a rookie last year. No, that's so. Geno Smith, and then we know the defense has its issues. Is why this team is not considered better.
But they're loaded on offense.
They're loaded on offense.
I
Obviously,
think they
the 12th
just
man
hit
is
the
a
over.
real thing. The great home field
Right.
advantage.
I think they limp into the over at just 9 wins, but I'm real hard pressed finding 5 more wins on that schedule other than their 4 bad division because they lose in both games to San Fran. They're not.
No.
There's a tier. There's San Fran, boop, 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 Seattle, then the other two.
Yeah, we'll talk about them in a second. I think I'm going to go under as well. Mostly just because I don't think they have anybody. They're not going to stop anybody running the ball.
I think they're right at 9. So
And
I'm
I
going
just
under
think
as well.
Geno takes a step back. I don't think Geno is like. I even think Geno the last half of the year. And again, I have to double check this. I'm more just kind of going off my memory. He definitely wasn't as good the second half last year as he was in the first half.
No, he faded out. He had a really good first 10 games.
Yeah, he started off pretty hot. So I think Seattle misses the playoffs again,
Yes.
and it is under the 9.5, or is it 8.5 or 9.5? Under
I
the
think it's 9.5. If it's 8.5,
No, sorry,
I
it's
have
under
over.
the 8.5.
Oh, I have them over. I have them at 9 wins.
Okay, so you're going over.
I'm going over.
Yeah,
I'm going over as well.
Okay.
I believe
And Geno?
in Geno. I want to believe in Geno.
Yeah.
I honestly, this is one where I kind of hope that they do.
My mind's telling me no, but my body's telling me yeah.
Oh, I thought we were doing
Tell me
Geno.
Geno Smith.
No,
Yeah,
I'm
my body's telling me Geno.
Oh my god. I think that we can't
All
talk
right,
anymore.
moving on.
All right,
These are going to be quick because they don't matter. They
next,
suck.
next,
Under.
yeah. The Rams.
Under.
Let's kind of do like a combo then.
Okay.
The Rams are at 6.5, and the Cardinals are at 4.5. I don't know what Vegas is smoking with the Rams. The Rams roster is poop soup,
bad.
especially with Cooper Kupp.
But they have Matthew Stafford and Cooper Kupp.
Well, do they have Cooper Kupp? He's going to doctors like, why don't he keep getting hurt?
I really hope so.
Because did you do Cooper Kupp? Dude, I don't think he's playing. At least early.
He fell to 14 overall, and it was so early. Once again, like I was talking about,
Yeah.
we did our draft so early. It's like I have to take a shot on him at 14 overall.
Well, just like you took a shot on JT.
I
But
know.
Their
No.
2 inside linebackers are named Ernest Jones and Christian Rosaboom. Who the fuck are these 2 people?
They even beat out the boy we traded to him, or is he gone now?
Well, milk check for Christian Rosaboom.
so
I mean, his name's Rosenboom.
No, and so if Cooper Kupp can't go, their top receiver is Van Jefferson,
And Tutu Atwell.
and Tutu Atwell is the number 2 guy.
And Puka.
That's
Puka
not
Nacua,
Don't
good.
forget about Puka.
Puka
Cam
Nacua,
Akers
baby.
is getting kicked out of
Puka
practice.
Nacua, baby.
It's a great name. Cam Akers is getting kicked out of practice.
Great
It's my
name.
boy.
Sean McVay is worrying about his post NFL career already. Pretty boy. Aaron Donald should have retired. I don't know
Also,
what he's
Puka
doing there.
Nacua. Give you 2 guesses what school he went to.
Who? Puka?
Yeah.
Louisville.
Oregon or USC?
Oh, Tatu went to Louisville. Sorry.
Where
Did
did
you
you
Hawaii?
went to? No.
Where?
Oregon?
BYU.
BYU.
Oh,
okay.
Utah State or BYU?
Yeah, no, that's yeah.
The Utes or
Well,
BYU?
no, they could be in Ireland.
Or
They could be
Oregon.
the islands.
Yeah, I
Or
thought it
Hawaii.
could've been- I thought it
No, but
could've
I'm
been
saying
Oregon
college.
or USC.
BYU or the Utah
no, that's
always
fair.
got those Polynesians.
That's fair. That's fair. The Rams roster is atrocious.
Ass-tastic.
I mean, it's bad. They're going to win 3 games.
He's
Stafford
Brian
probably
Allen
win.
is their center.
We see
Who the
Stafford
He
will
won't finish the season.
He might not finish the season. I bet we see Stetson Bennett as much as we see Matthew Stafford.
Now, the only thing that I'll say about this whole thing is that they still got Aaron Donald. And if Aaron Donald just decides
That's
to
the only
fuck
person they have
around,
on their entire
He's
team.
the
I
only
agree.
one.
He
But
can't
I'm
do it
saying-
all.
I take all 5 linemen and block him.
Block
And
him.
don't block
Block
anybody
him.
else.
If
But I'm
anyone
just
gets
saying,
around
what
that, don't worry
happens
about it.
Don't worry
if
about it.
he's just like, hey, fuck it, I'm going to go crazy.
But
Put me at running back, coach.
But he's like halfway retiring.
But
Why
what
would he do
happens
that?
when Aaron Donald's just like, fuck it, coach, put me at running back?
That's the only thing that can get them to be a good team is that if Aaron Donald's just like, hey,
Go Super
You know what,
Saiyan,
guys?
everybody.
I'm gonna go Super Saiyan 3, and I'm gonna fucking kill everyone.
Stafford, take a seat.
But even then, like, how many wins does that get you?
No,
Not many.
I'm saying I
Stafford, take a
agree.
seat.
I
We're running
agree.
the single wing,
He has
quarterback
to do
keeper.
like a.
I'm just gonna run over everyone in the league.
He has to be like a J.J. Watt where he's swatting balls and getting his own
44.
touchdowns. Yeah. All right.
Aaron Donald running
So
out.
I'm going under. 6.5 is way too aggressive for the Los
So we
Angeles
talked
Rams.
about there's 3 poop-tastic teams in the league. The
This is
Rams are one of them.
Yes.
The Arizona Cardinals are the second
Oh
one.
yeah, baby.
So their line is that.
This is the reason why Seattle gets the overs.
Yes.
These teams are so bad.
So the Cardinals are at 4.5. What are they smoking? Again, what are they smoking?
That's gotta
5
be the lowest.
wins.
That's gotta be the lowest line.
Maybe you can't go
In
low.
football.
Maybe you're right. 5 wins for
All right.
them.
All right. Here we
So
go.
By the way,
Go to the
where
line
they're
page.
officially taking.
Go
They
to the line
traded.
page.
They're
Is
trading.
there a lower line?
They cut Colt McCoy because he was too good.
Oh yeah, they're officially. They're like Tyler's dynasty league.
tank for Caleb.
Take it for Caleb.
So
He's not even going to play for them.
I know. No, they cut him.
No, I'm saying
No,
he's
Caleb,
not. Like,
Caleb's
Caleb's
there.
going to hold
Fuck
out.
you
He's
guys.
like,
I'm not
Eli.
playing for you. I'm going back to school.
Oh yeah, they're the lowest. They're the lowest by 2 games. Everyone else, there's like 5 teams tied for second with 6.5, and they're the lowest with
Jeez,
4.5.
they didn't even Texans 6.5.
All right, let's go to the schedule.
I don't think they win 4. I don't think they win 3 games.
Loss.
Well, give us teams.
All right, they start out at Commanders. Loss.
Yeah. Because, by the way, it's a sellout. 90% Commanders fans. It's the
Oh, yeah.
It's the buy damn party.
Hogs
It's
are
a
back.
big loss.
The pig roast is back. The pig pen's back.
Yeah,
All you
and
fucking
for this
losers-
week at least. For this
all
week
you
at least.
losers are back. Totally.
Yes.
Home against the Giants. I
L.
think Daniel Jones dices them the fuck
Yeah.
up.
I mean, Buda Baker's the only legitimate player on their team.
I'm a little mad right now. Like, fuck you, Cardinals. You don't want Colt McCoy going back to Washington to try to upset them? Like, that would have been beautiful.
No, they're going with their 5th round
Home
pick.
against
that
Dallas,
would've been
Dak
fucking
lights them the
beautiful.
fuck up. Dallas probably has 2 bad games. Everyone's going to be talking about, oh, Dak fucking sucks. Dallas sucks. Jerry Jones is going to be saying things back-to-back weeks about how, oh, we need to step up. I might be starting Trey Lance. You know the bullshit. Jerry's like going to spin his web, and then they're going to bounce back September 24th versus Arizona, and it's going to be like a 40-10 game.
Yeah,
and
well,
everyone
that's
is
the
going to be like, Cowboys are back. Jerry Jones is going to be like, this is my quarterback, Dak Prescott. I believed in him the entire time. We totally didn't see
Or
him.
Dallas starts hot and they lose to Arizona.
I can also see that happening.
Also, we don't need almost every team on there is going to blow them out.
Oh, yeah.
We need to find 5 wins for them.
5 wins? Okay. They're losing against San Francisco, losing
Yes.
against Bengals. They could win against the Rams.
There's 2 possible wins
Yeah.
if they beat the Rams.
They're
So
gonna
let's say
lose
they
at
split.
Seattle.
They probably split.
They're going to lose versus Baltimore. If the Browns are browning by week 9, they might be able to beat the Browns.
Is it home or away?
At the Browns.
No chance they win. Zero
Home
chance.
against
I don't care.
Atlanta.
Shove Russ
I don't
out.
care who. I don't care.
Home against Atlanta the next game. That could be a win for them.
Maybe.
I think Atlanta just runs
I
down their
expect
fucking
Atlanta's
throat.
run game to be really
At
good,
Houston.
Yeah.
Home
Oh yeah, at Houston's a potential win.
At Houston.
I'll give you that.
Tyler will be back for Atlanta maybe.
Now, this is
Now,
the
They
big
have
question.
4 weeks in a row where it's at Cleveland, home against Atlanta, at Houston, home against the Rams, where they could get a couple wins. But then it's at Pittsburgh, bye, home against San Francisco, at Chicago, at Philadelphia, home against Seattle, and I think they lose
They
out.
don't win any of the
They
last
don't
6
win.
games.
They only score like 4 touchdowns in those 2 months.
Their only chance to win is week 6 and then week 9 through 12. And then other than that, they have no chance of winning any other games.
Now, part of this too is we're also, and I believe
But that's
this.
5 games right there. So if they win
But
those
they're-
5 games, there's
but
no
those
chance
are all
they
their
win.
toss-up games.
Yes, those are the
No,
ones
no
that
chance.
potentially could
Yeah.
win.
So
And I'm
Yeah,
giving them
losing
I'm
those
giving them a toss up against the Browns because I really want that to happen.
now,
Not because I think it's
are
gonna
you
happen.
assuming when you go? And here's what I also assume: Kyler Murray's not playing at all this year.
I don't think they let him play.
I don't think they do.
I think he falls into 4 wins.
Yeah, that's why they don't play him.
He can't.
The
study,
last
but
thing you can
he's
do,
talented.
if
He's
you're
talented.
if you're ownership of the Cardinals,
yeah,
the last thing you can do is let the Rams beat you to that number 1 pick
1,000,000,000%.
to get Caleb.
If Caleb Williams just stays home in the Rams,
Like all of
Come
Arizona,
on,
Arizona
dude.
should lose their
Come on,
franchise if they
dude.
let that happen.
Yeah.
that's like
Like the
I think the
Rams,
NFL wants that to happen.
the Rams can't. They can try to lose, but they can't lose as much as the Cardinals. Their roster's still a little bit better.
Yeah,
they
they
need
still
the
have-
Cardinals to do what the Texans did last year and win.
If
Oh,
healthy,
also,
Cooper
think about
Kupp,
that,
Aaron
the Rams
Donald,
should just be like,
fuck it.
You know, Stafford, you sure you don't want to retire? before the
Yeah,
season
Stafford
starts?
and Kyler, this is their last year with those franchises, both of them.
The Rams
Goes up.
the Rams desperately need Caleb Williams
Yeah.
to get
Well, they
traded.
both do. I mean, do you want now? Where
I
do you want?
can see Stafford being traded.
I actually want Caleb Williams to stay in LA to go to the Rams. I think that would be perfect for the NFL.
Caleb and
that would be
McVay.
Have Caleb
fucking
and McVay.
awesome.
I'm pretty hot.
That would be way too sick. Bounce back here for Cooper.
I mean,
Kupp.
I've always liked Arizona as a
Arizona's finally
franchise.
healthy in
You
the
know what I
first
mean?
3
They
years.
have a cool stadium. Like Arizona's a franchise. It's always been pretty
They've
cool.
I
always,
like
they let
Arizona
me
as
down
a
just
town.
because I'm a big Larry fan.
Yeah.
Love
And
Arizona as a city.
Larry was
Yeah, they were-
or the state, but
Larry
Scottsdale
was
is
so
amazing.
devoted to the team, and besides Kurt Warner,
They were they were a 102-yard touchdown away from beating the
They
Steelers.
never got
And the toe touch.
anyone except for Kurt Warner.
All right, let's move on.
And
100%.
Arizona's always let me down.
Arizona.
All
Is
right,
always
let's head to the south. All right, this is an interesting one. Atlanta Falcons at 8.5. I'm going under. Here's why.
They're relying, dude. They are
8.5 's
so
a
high
lot of
on
wins.
Bijan
8.5 's a lot of
this year.
wins.
They're so high on Bijan this year, and I am too. But he can't lead them.
I think the winner of that division has 9 wins.
Ooh, probably, and I think that's the
And
ceiling.
that's the Saints.
We're gonna talk.
I'm probably right. I'm
We're gonna talk
probably
about
right
that.
there with you.
Here's my only problem with Atlanta is Desmond Ridder. I don't think he's a good NFL quarterback. We watched him play a decent amount last year. He was not good. I don't know what changes like that. Like you don't usually see huge changes in that. He had question marks coming out of college. It wasn't like he was like a first-round pick in college or anything like that.
Best
And it's
quarterback on that
worse.
team's the backup.
And it's worse though because
Oh, what's his name, Tyler?
I don't know who's his fucking name.
Taylor fucking Hack.
Yeah, I drafted him in the Dynasty League.
So-
I forgot about that one.
But then I immediately released him because of the stupid taxi rule thing.
so
Yeah,
it's,
so that's a whole other thing.
it's even worse for Desmond Ridder because they had a top 5 running game last year.
Yes.
And they have Kyle Pitts and Drake London who are top
Right.
first round targets.
Top 10 picks.
Top 10 pick,
Yes.
first round targets. So it's almost like, hey, bro, what else do you want us to do?
I mean, but this is a great offense to try him out. If he's going to have success, it's going to be this year.
Correct. That being said, he had Pitts in London and a really good running game last year.
Yeah,
But I
but
think
he's also a
okay,
rookie and
okay.
people thought they needed development.
Right.
He has a full off season, taking all the first team reps.
Okay.
This is
He had all the first team reps for the last like
Well,
5
this
seasons.
is
he's
as
exciting.
Atlanta's doing things the right way. They're building the team around and then seeing if a guy can play quarterback. If you can't, you bring in a new quarterback to a team that has talent. It's the right way to build.
Now,
a team.
I like
Nice little signing, Jonnu Smith for Atlanta, backup tight end.
Johnny.
But as he kind of does the things that Kyle Pitts doesn't do. So he can come in, block,
more
do
dirty.
the dirty work,
Yeah.
but catch the drop-off passes and take them for yak,
Yeah.
which is what he did in Tennessee so well.
I'll say this: Atlanta had one of my favorite signings of the offseason that they brought in Jesse Bates from Cincinnati, who's
Free
a
safety.
very good football player. He can do a lot of different things: play deep in the box, cover.
He's what
all those things.
and the
the
run
Bears
game
should have
really
done.
helps your defense.
I think the Bears would have been very well.
The
Bears
Bears
already
named
actually
C.J.
pretty-
Gardner-Johnson.
Yeah, no, the Lions.
So that's what I think the Lions should have done.
Yeah.
They went C.J. Gardner-Johnson, and they should have went Jesse
Well,
Bates.
Bates is better, correct?
That's what I'm saying.
Now they also have Terrell, who's a
AJ
good corner.
Terrell is
Like, so
legit.
their secondary's okay.
And if Jeff Okudah stays healthy, he's a good second corner. Well, he's an okay second corner.
Yeah, I think we haven't really seen anything.
He's an okay second corner.
Yeah. They have a very good defensive line. I'm drawing a blank on his name. Grady.
Grady Jarrett.
Yeah, Grady Jerry. He's pretty good.
Arnold Ebike.
So there's pieces there on defense. It's not all the way there.
Bud Dupree got signed there as well. That's a nice little outside.
That's not bad. That's not bad. But I'm still going under purely because of Desmond Ridder and Arthur Smith's kind of stubbornness with the run game.
He loves running the
He
ball.
loves it too much.
They have a good team. They have good pieces there. They are building in the right direction. This isn't the year though that they go over.
Yeah,
I think they still
Correct.
have a losing record. They
agree.
add
I like
some
an
more talent this
8-9 losing
offseason.
record. Yeah.
They have some more. Yeah, they have more talent this offseason, and next year they are potentially one of those over teams.
Yeah.
I think they're at like 7 wins this year, so I'm going under as well.
If there's like a disgruntled superstar quarterback, and there always is one, at least recently, and they come out with like their list of places to go, Atlanta should be on that list.
I agree.
You know what I mean? Because they're a team, like you just said, up and coming, have pieces around there, not a good division, so quarterback away from kind of being the dominant team for
I
the
kind
next
of like Drake
2-3
May in
years.
Atlanta. I wish they were bad enough to get Drake May.
If they're bad enough, that'd be hot.
That would be so lit.
That'd be hot.
Because he's kind of like,
But
with Drake May with a legit running game and Kyle Pitts and Drake London instead of like the shit show he's working with in UNC.
right. That could be hot.
That would be so crazy. Because Drake May's he reminds me, I know he's not.
Maybe Drake.
I compare him to Trevor Lawrence. That's my.
I know he's like a real good pocket passer, but he's got
wiggle.
He's got that
He
wiggle.
led the school in rushing yards last year.
He's got a little bit of Baker wiggle to him.
Yeah.
But he's more of a pocket passer.
Drake May London would be pretty soon.
Drake May London? I like that.
Drake May London,
No,
yeah,
Drake.
for sure.
All right. Next we'll go to the Saints at 9.5. I'm going over. Ben mentioned them earlier.
Do we want to say this? Actually, no. Fucking keep going.
Right.
Saints.
So Ben mentioned them earlier as the team's going to win the division. I agree. I think the Saints are kind of by far the best team in the division. That's kind of crazy. I don't think that's that crazy to say. I think double-digit wins is there. They have the first. Derek Carr is here, and the other 3 quarterbacks are down here in that division. I just don't, even with bad Derek Carr, like last year, Derek Carr was horrendous. I think like average to below average Derek Carr is a million times better than Baker, than
below
Desmond
average
Ritter, and then rookie Bryce Young.
Average, below average Derek Carr
is better than all 3 of those guys.
With Baker, with some of those receivers there in Tampa, could be close.
We'll talk about Tampa in a second then. So
I kind of think the second best quarterback in this division is the Saints' backup quarterback in Jameis Winston.
You might be right.
Could be true.
You might be right on that, actually.
Like him and Bryce Young are
like those other 3
for backup for the second best quarterback.
Jameis Winston in Atlanta, be kind of hot. Be kind of hot.
He turns the ball over too much.
But that
Totally
offense is not correlated to a turnover system. So
I'm with you.
It's not a heavy passing system, so it'd be a lot safer.
New Orleans, I definitely have them winning division.
I mean,
9.5 is a tough line.
Michael Thomas is actually back. That's crazy.
They could, yes, but we've been saying if Michael Thomas is back for 3
But also, Rashid
years.
Shaheed, baby, don't sleep. That kid is nice.
New Orleans could win this division.
Jawan Johnson.
Right. I like New Orleans. I actually like their roster just kind of as a whole. I like their backfield, even without Kamara. I like the receivers, with Michael Thomas being kind of like that second, third option.
Yeah.
I think their offensive line is solid.
I
like Derek Carr.
I kind of like their defense.
And while I like
the defense has always been good.
The defense is notoriously good.
Solid. While it's not a top tier defense, it's still solid. And while they're not one of the best teams,
but Cam Jordan's
they
still going to get it
play,
done.
I believe, like one elite quarterback the entire.
Yeah, they have a
season.
very weak schedule.
Schedule-wise, like they play some decent teams, but they don't play good quarterbacks.
Win. Okay, here we go. Tennessee, dub. At Carolina, dub. At Green Bay, dub. Home against Tampa Bay, dub. At New England, dub. At Houston, dub. Home against Jacksonville, toss-up. They're probably going to lose that game.
They might.
I think Trevor Lawrence is the guy.
Yeah.
At Indianapolis, dub. Home against Chicago, dub. At Minnesota, toss-up because Minnesota's going to score a lot of points.
Yeah.
But then they go in the bye week. Maybe losing 2 games. So they go into it 8-2, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Maybe 10-0.
7-3, 8-2, right around there.
Then they go at Atlanta, dub.
Probably.
Home against Detroit, toss-up because Detroit's going to be scoring points. Home against Carolina. By week 14, Bryce Young has been dead for 3 weeks. Home against the Giants, dub.
I hope so.
At the Rams, dub. At Tampa Bay, dub. Home against Atlanta, dub.
Dan has the Saints going undefeated.
I think
the best quarterback.
They're not going to win all those games.
It's Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford and maybe a little Jared Goff in there.
They're not going to win all those games.
Those are the best quarterbacks they're playing this year.
They're not going to win all those games that I said they were going to get dubs to, but they're definitely going to hit 10
That's how their schedule.
They'll probably be favored though.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
they'll hit 10 to 11 wins this year.
I have
that over is probably that's my tad lock of the year. Saints are going to hit the over.
Wow.
Because even if Derek Carr gets injured, they still got Jameis. He's the second best quarterback in that division.
And Jameis is injured, they still got Taysom.
Who is their third string quarterback?
Taysom might be Taysom.
Their third string quarterback is their second string tight end. Duh.
Jack
Isn't that way
Hayner.
with every team?
Who is it?
Jack Hayner.
No, it's
Jake
Taysom
Hayner.
Hill. It's Taysom
Well, it's probably Taysom Hill. Fresno State, this round rookie.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
Jack Hayner's their fourth string linebacker.
But bro,
everybody.
Every
backup quarterback plays another position.
Even when Alvin Kamara is fucking injured, they still got Jamal Williams to go with Olave, Michael Thomas, Rashid Shaheed,
and
Jawan Johnson.
They put some.
Yeah, bro.
So like, there's a lot to like.
This team is nice.
There's a lot to like.
All right, moving on.
Next team, Carolina Panthers. I told you guys there was a third team that I think was going to be stinktastic this year. It's the Carolina Panthers.
Is it someone besides Carolina?
So you
No.
think?
Oh,
What week does
Their
he get
line's
injured?
at 7.5.
What week does he get injured?
I have under
8.
7.5.
Yeah, because you don't have him. You don't have him.
I don't think so. Again, I'm not presuming injuries on my over.
Okay.
Even if he's healthy the whole year,
And
I think they are awful.
Really?
Again, their offensive line might be the worst in the league. I watched their preseason games. They weren't blocking a soul.
And that's not good for a young.
No, for a young little quarterback. Their number one receiver is Adam Thielen. That's not going to work. That's not going to work.
PJ Sharp.
Stop it.
Jonathan Mingo.
No, stop it.
Whoa,
Their running
whoa,
back.
whoa! They got Laviska Chenault, dude.
They also have
That sounds
the
like
great-
Kay and Peel skit.
They also have
Chenault.
guard at 4.
No,
Hayden
stop it.
Hurst.
Stop it. Stop it.
Bro, they got Andy Dalton as a
Stop
backup.
it.
They'll be
Stop
Gucci.
it. Stop it.
They do. Andy Dalton's a good mentor for a young quarterback.
There's actually a chance I'm not going to say chance. They're my pick to be the worst offense in the NFL. I think they're going to be atrocious. They don't even have a marquee running back. They have decent guys. I like Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is the most overrated running back in the NFL.
Miles Sanders does suck.
He's so. I like Chuba though.
Chuba.
But that's not. They're not going to. They're going to be like multiple weeks where they don't score double-digit points.
I know 2 of these offensive linemen. Ikemakwanu, because he was that swing offensive lineman who got drafted out of like
Is that NC State?
NC State, Texas Tech, something like that. One of those black and red schools.
Yeah.
And then Bradley Bozeman, and that's because he's a Raven. But Brady
And how's
Christensen,
Bozeman?
he's okay.
But-
He's probably their best offensive lineman, but as center, you need 4 other people around you.
Right.
Because if your tackles are ass
And
tackles.
is Bozeman a top 12 center in the league?
No.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Like,
Brady Christensen is left guard, Cade Mays, and Taylor Moton is right tackle. Yeah, that's
again, he's going to die. Again, I'm not making my prediction because of his health.
I do like
Their
their
offense,
defense.
they do have a good defense.
I do like their defense.
You look at Burns, you can chant, like, there are pieces on the
Burns,
defense.
No, but when
Shaq
you have a bad
Thompson.
offensive line, like the worst thing to do, honestly,
Just give you a working quarterback.
to draft a young quarterback.
Exactly.
And
Teams fuck this up all the time. For
It
no
really
reason.
sucks because he's small, but I think, man, watching him go through his reads at Alabama, and yes, he had so much talent around him,
Yep.
but the way he progresses through his reads and the speed he does, it's decision making, it is top tier.
Yeah.
And I do think that provides him a lot of potential at the next level.
I think they win 3 games this year.
That
I'm
offensive
going
line might
right.
not give him 2 seconds to make a read. I don't care how quick you
No,
are.
they're going to be bad. So,
It's going to be tough, man.
again, so Dan mentioned it's really bad.
I really want to
lose
believe
less than
Bryce
6 games.
Young.
I think there'll be 3 teams. I think they're all NFC teams. I think they're the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Panthers. I think
I also have the Houston Texans.
and the Houston Texans could be in that mix as well.
Yeah.
I just look at the Panthers roster. I go, there's just very little.
I feel bad.
The
I'm
one
gonna
side of the
they're
ball
bad.
is so bad.
I want to root for Bryce Young,
Yeah.
and I'm going to still root for him, but that's enough.
They're in a prime position to get either a Marvin Harrison Jr. or one of the 2 tackles.
I actually wouldn't mind, Marvin going there.
They need
Bryce
it.
Young.
They need it. Or one of the 2 premier
He looked
tackles.
good in the Carolina Blue.
You would look good. It'd be closer. Yeah, the Carolina Blue. So the 7.5 line is laughable. Going way under on that.
Yeah.
I think they hit 7, so I'm going under as well.
I
I
can't
don't
even
think
find
they hit
7.
7. but
They might hit 7. If he stays healthy all year, they might hit 7.
Maybe. I mean,
He might pull off a few things.
that's
So
a
they
hard
win
maybe.
5.
All right.
So,
Enough of this loser team, Tampa.
all right, so
Another
Tampa
loser
Bay.
team.
Look, this loser team off to another loser team.
So their line's at a 6.5. I'm actually going to go over.
I
on
can't
this.
believe that their line's higher
It's
than
lower.
Carolina.
I know, right? Isn't that nuts?
Or lower, yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm going over on Tampa. They still have talent on that roster.
They have a fucking ton of talent.
What was their final record last year?
They won the
Was it
division.
divorce Tom Brady?
They won the division, like 9-8.
Okay.
So
Tristan Wirfs still might be the best.
Well,
Offensive
they
line
got
in
their
the
offensive
league.
line healthy this year.
well, no, but
So that's
Jansen's after the year again.
Yeah,
Not
Jansen's
yet
out for
another
the year.
season ending.
But they got that kid
Yeah,
Cody
Johnson.
Mauch, and I love Cody Mauch.
Going on, yeah. So listen, they still have Mike Evans. They still have Chris Godwin. They
Kid from
still
North
have
Dakota State,
Rashawn
no
White.
front teeth.
Like,
He's a fucking monster.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
love this dude.
so like they still have pieces around it. And Ben, you mentioned Baker Mayfield. Like I've always been a Baker fan. I think Baker Mayfield is not nearly as bad as the national world thinks he is. I mean, again, 6.5 is way too low for me. That's partially why we're doing this. I'm not saying that. I don't think they win the division. I don't think they make the playoffs. But 8 and 10 for me.
This is
Or
another
I
eight,
still
one.
think
nine.
they have the second
This
best
is
defense
another
in the-
one of
in the
those-
division,
Oh,
too.
yeah, they still have a good defense.
Yeah.
I mean, I still think 8 wins
Devin
is
White,
very.
Levante David, a healthy Shaq Barrett.
Healthy
People
Shaq.
forget about Shaq Barrett, bro.
You still got who's the
Vita Vea.
Vita Vea. I was going to say, yeah. I mean,
Yeah, bro.
there's
Antoine
enough there.
Winfield Jr. in the back end, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
These guys are good, bro.
Yes. So they're a sneaky playoff team, but I don't think they get there because ultimately I do think Baker is not that guy to get him. I think he has a higher floor than people think.
bro.
Along with this division, you have like 3 Bacon wins in your division.
Bro, they got
I
a
think
guy.
2 from Carolina, maybe splitting with the Falcons.
And then also probably
Maybe splitting one with the Saints.
Maybe.
They've been playing each other
Yeah.
tight.
So 3-3, maybe 2-4, but yeah,
I love their corners, bro. Carlton Davis the third, and then dude, they got this. The third corner there is fucking Zion McCollum from fucking San Diego State from 2 years ago. Man, I was wanting the Ravens to draft him so bad. I love this dude.
So again,
Long leg, he can play the fucking.
there's skill there for sure. There's talent. Now I think Todd Bowles is a bad head coach, so I think that's also part of the problem.
And if Baker's, they can go to Kyle Trask, and he can get them to like. He
Yeah,
can get
I
them.
don't know.
I don't know if Kyle Trask can do anything.
I mean, he's not going to get them to where you're going, but he'll get them to their over/under for sure.
Yeah, 6.5. He can probably get him to 7, especially if they already won 3 or 4 games
Yeah,
prior.
he'll get them to 7.
Like he can win
But
2 or 3 more
He
games.
ain't. Their playoff hopes die with Kyle Trask.
Yeah.
Baker can still get it done.
I don't think they have playoff hopes at all.
They'll host because the conference is bad. But
Like if they
So,
like, I
But
think this
Tampa maybe
division.
winning 8 games and New Orleans winning like 9.
the last
That's
playoff
true,
spot
that's true.
will
New
probably
Orleans
be a
has
9-win
shit
team
schedule.
in the NFC.
I think New
It was
Orleans-
last year, and it's worse.
The wild card spots go to the NFC North, not the NFC South. So,
With the North and the East.
in the East.
Well, actually, the East will take more than from the North.
Yeah,
I
the
bet.
South. There's no way the South has 2 teams. You're winning the division or you're not making the playoffs.
They got a way harder schedule.
They'll
They
be in
play-
the ultimately, Ben. I'm predicting. My prediction is the same as yours as far as that goes. I'm just saying. I think they'll at least be in the hunt.
See,
You know,
I don't
until
know.
they're
though.
like 16, 17.
Listen,
18.
they play at Minnesota, home against Philly, at Buffalo, and at San Francisco this year. I think all of them are losses.
Big losses.
And home against Jacksonville.
And what's
I think
their
that's a loss.
What's their
That's tough. 6.5.
6.5.
That's tough sledding.
I
Right
could
there.
see him winning 7, but I'm gonna go under.
That's a tough
Oh, well,
sledding.
Okay.
I could see him winning 7. I'm going under.
Well, okay. I hear what you're saying. Okay.
They got a tough road to hoe. I'm also going 7. I agree with you, Ben.
All right. I'm going over. You guys are going
So
over.
you're going over.
I'm going under. I switched mine. I just
Okay.
looked at their schedule and I saw those 5
Okay, I'm
games.
just
and I
saying
was
it's
like, hey,
6.5. You said I'm also going 7. I'm with you, Ben.
Didn't you say you were going 7?
No, he
The
says
over-
I can see them,
winning 7,
but I'm going.
but I'm
under.
going with the under 6.5. Because I think they're gonna win. I think they're gonna
They'll
win
win
less.
6. I actually kind of with you on that. Looking at their schedule and
I just
looking
want
at
to make
those
sure you
5
said you're
tough
with
ass
me,
games,
but I was kind of.
I am with you. I think they win 6 games.
Okay.
Just under. But that's a tough road to hoe when you got 5 games like that.
Yeah.
Plus your division.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
tough.
numbers say
That's
that.
tough.
Okay.
That's tough. That's tough. That's tough. All right.
Fair enough. All right. Last division.
Here we go.
We'll start with the Dallas Cowboys. They're letting set at 9.5. I'm going over on this. I think Dallas is the 3rd best team in the conference. So to think that they're not going to be double-digit wins is kind of blasphemy. They have an elite. Sorry, let me start that over. They have a very good defense with maybe the best
Elite
defensive
players.
player.
Elite players.
Yeah, I think Mike Parsons stays healthy. He wins Defensive Player of the Year.
Stephon
He's a
Gilmore.
fucking stud. They brought in Gilmore. Gilmore definitely is not what he was when he won Defensive
No,
Player of the Year.
huge
They're
name.
still better.
Huge name.
Obviously, you got Diggs on the other side. Dexter Lawrence. They got names
DeMarcus
for sure.
Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Sorry, not Dexter Lawrence. They got
Marcus
names up.
Lawrence, Micah Parsons, Leighton Vander Esch,
Yeah. Now, Leighton Vander Esch has been a little bit of a disappointment.
Gilmore, and then Trayvon Diggs. Those are good names.
Yeah. But Michael Parsons is the straw that stirs that drink.
Big facts.
Now, there was a report out in the beginning of the OTA stuff that they're basically moving Michael Parsons to defensive end, which would have, to me, totally diminished his overall value. Now, that seems to be a bad report. That doesn't seem to be the case.
They
He's doing his
do
work.
have him as a 4-3 end on ESPN.
I know, and I think that's because I think they're going with their
I got
reports.
you.
It's fine.
But just
listening
watching
to as
him
a
play
DN,
in his practice and reports, he has been moving around.
It's fine if you want to listen as a DN and if he's going to play 50% of the snaps as a DN.
Yeah.
But you have to have him dropping back and doing other things at times.
Him
And
blitzing
covering
in the
people
A and B
and
gap is what
blitzing
makes
up
him
gaps.
elite.
Yes.
You have to have him doing all those
He's
things
such a-
to get
he's like-
the best out of him.
Yeah.
He's like John and Josh when playing deep lineman when we were in high
Well, no, but they're playing D lineman. He's not playing inside D line. He's blitzing from linebacker.
Yeah.
He's talking
I
about
think he's blitzing that gap
Yeah,
from
blitzing the
linebacker.
gap, having a lineman
He's the closest thing to LT.
Is.
You know that we're
Since
going to
LT.
see. Yeah. Then you go to the offensive side of the ball.
Their offensive line is pretty good.
It's pretty good. It's a step back. I know they gave Terrence Steele a lot of money, which I was a little shocked at. I don't think Terrence Steele is that good of a player.
I didn't think he was that.
I think he's their worst offensive player.
Yeah. Now they lost somebody actually. I think they're Laurel Collins. They lost, didn't they?
Yeah, he's the right tackle that they replaced with Terrence Steele.
Gotcha.
Who's
Who's the three interior guys? I thought they lost one.
It's Tyler Smith left guard, Tyler Biadasz center, and then Zach Martin.
Okay, maybe I'm mistaken.
Tyrone Smith left tackle.
But well, we'll see about Tyrone. He's always hurt.
Yeah.
But anyway, they have a good offensive line. They need to replace Dalton Schultz, a tight end.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. But they might not need to really replace him when they bring in Brandon Cooks. So they're a legitimate number 2 receiver.
Michael Gallup can go back to his third receiver, big play guy.
And then
Tony Pollard getting the rock now.
Dude, there are some people that think that Tony Pollard might be like the number 1 RB, like fantasy running back number 1.
I don't really believe that, but we'll think about it.
I'll be shocked about that.
Deuce Vaughn can get some play too. That guy's a little short, little scat back.
Same
issue with Bryce Young. He might get murdered week 3.
Yeah, he's running back, not quarterback.
Yeah.
Agreed.
There's no rules protecting him.
But he's also like a mouse running through a herd of elephants type situation. That dude is tiny.
Yeah. So it's as a Commander fan, I'm trying to find ways to kind of like beat Dallas. It's hard to. Like,
they have a lot of talent. Dallas usually does. I still am not a fan of their head coach.
No, now this doesn't mean I think they're going to have good success like in the playoffs per se.
Yes.
Just for this exercise of over-under.
Head coach and management is always Dallas' downfall.
Yeah, but they go over.
Right, you go over because the line's just too low. First, 9.5 is...
Agreed.
As a gambling man, that's just too low.
All right. Moving on.
So that. All right, next, let's go to... I just kind of scroll to the next
New York?
Actually, the next team, we'll do Washington last, I guess.
Okay.
So let's do Philly. Their line's at 11.5.
That's a lot.
I'm begrudgingly going to go over.
11.5?
That's a lot. I'm still going to begrudgingly go over.
12 wins?
Now, here's the argument against them not winning 12 games.
There's one argument against them.
There's actually a few.
Right?
There's
one main argument. Because everything I see, like with my brain, everything they've done this offseason, it says over. I believe they are going to be. I believe they are potentially a better team than they were last year.
I totally disagree with that.
Everything-
I'm going to tell why in a second.
Everything to me says over.
Super Bowl.
But they lost the Super Bowl last year.
Here's why.
So they're under.
Yeah. Well, here's why they're not better than last year. They lost 7 starters on defense. Like that's the reality situation. So they're not better on defense. Even with all the Georgia guys they draft, that's cool to say and talk about. In the offseason.
They have stuff to make up on defense,
I mean,
for sure.
They have a lot to make up on defense.
So
they also lost both coordinators. That's a factor. That again, I don't think that means they win 8 or 9 games, but that is a factor. They also were a relatively healthy team last year, especially on offense. I think Jalen Hurts missed a couple games. Their offensive line was relatively intact.
Got on a BS fumble call.
Well, they didn't lose him to injury.
Yes, they did.
Oh, did he get hurt?
Not on that fucking
because he's a little body. That's why.
Lost me my fantasy game and future weeks.
And so who hurt him? Who big bodied him? That's right. Washington did. But that's fine.
A big bully out of Washington.
A big bully out of Washington.
Hold on. They lost a lot of defenders, but Brandon Graham, first round pick Jalen Carter, Fletcher Cox still in the
They're a loaded team. That's one of the reasons.
Hold on.
Kobe Dean and Hassan Reddick still linebackers.
Losing
Bradbury, Terrell Edmonds, Darius Slay.
Fletcher Cox right now, actually, if you again, this is reality.
But he's like their worst all defensive lineman now. Josh
Fletcher Cox is more name than production right now. He actually, his last 3 years have been a very steady decline.
Derek Barnett.
Same with Brandon Graham. So like. The other thing to push back on this whole, and again, I'm on the record, I'm going over, but just for reasons to hesitate, they're also very old on both sides of the ball. Like in between Graham and Cox and their offensive line, all very good, but all very old. Injuries pop up a little bit more when you're older. Recovering from injuries take a little bit longer as you're older. So there's those types of things you got to think about.
Unless Jalen Carter ends up being like a guy, then I agree with you because they don't really have too much depth. No. But Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith are both backups.
Yep.
Keely Ringo's backup, and they're all the Georgia guys.
They all exactly.
And they're all kind of okay. So I don't know, man.
You going over?
That's tough.
So I'm going over, mostly because I think their offense will be better this year Just because there's no reason to think they're worse.
What's their line? 11.5. I'm going under. It's too big of a line, and I agree with Ben on the Super Bowl effect. It always happens regardless of team.
Do you think they win like 11 games then?
I think they're at
if you win 11 games, you still win the division probably.
I think they're at 10,
You're still
11.
pretty good, but you're under the line.
They're at 10.
But I'm still
11
going
wins.
personally. I'm personally going over.
What do you think they're at? Are they at 9?
I think they're at 11. I'm going.
Yeah.
So you're going under them.
Yeah, I'm going 10, 11 wins.
Sorry,
I thought you already said.
Everything's telling me that I want to go
yes,
over.
I agree with you.
It's funny. I'm the opposite. Everything I'm saying is why you should take the under, but I'm going over. That's funny.
Everything's telling me to go Everything's telling me to go the over. Everything's I still, part of me believes that they're the second best team, if not the best team in the NFC.
Agreed.
NFC, but yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said, NFC.
But
I'm going under.
Yeah. You know, people. We talked earlier about Justin Fields being a heavy favorite, or not a heavy favorite, but like a very popular MVP.
The heaviest favorite is Jalen Hurts.
No, it's not. Jalen Hurts is actually good odds.
Really?
Like, I think it's the best play. I think it's like 6-1 odds.
Really?
Like, yeah, Mahomes is ahead of him. Burrow and Allen are all ahead of him.
It's because because it could be very Lamar-like, where you won the MVP and then falls off.
Yeah, so I if I were to make a bet for MVP, I would bet Jalen Hurts just because I like the odds. 6-1 odds is pretty good.
I kind of agree with that.
And there's no reason to think, again, barring injury or anything like that, why you wouldn't just have another stellar year.
Yeah.
So
agreed.
The receivers aren't out of their prime by any means.
No. I mean, the only team in the league that might have better receivers than Cincinnati.
Their running game might be even better this year.
We'll see.
If the
I know they brought in Swift
and Penny, if they can stay healthy.
Yeah.
They have 2 injuries
That's a
coming
big
back.
question, though. Yeah.
So, all right. Now we're gonna go to the Giants.
Yep. Two teams left.
The Giants are at 7.5. I'm gonna go over begrudgingly. I don't think the Giants are very good, but I do think they get to 8 wins, which is kind of the exercise here. I think they have a average at best quarterback. I've never been a Daniel Jones fan.
I'm torn because I believe in Dayball, but I do not believe in Daniel Jones.
And that's the
I
Dayball.
agree with that.
And they have a hard schedule this year.
Watching Dayball
really
coach prepare that team last year was so impressive. I think he is the best coach in the NFL. I really do. As far as just preparing a team, he may not be as sexy and as fun as like Andy Reid, like even Sean McVay was, or Kyle Shanahan. As far as just like being clean, execute, don't make mistakes, and just kind of win games you're not supposed to, Dayball was the best in the league last year. I don't think it was really close. They have a very good defense, especially in the middle with their 2 tackles. Thibodeau, all his sacks came against Washington, so he's not that good of an overall player. So ignore the Thibodeau stuff. I mean, just be honest. Look at the stats. I think he had 5 last year. 4 came against Washington. So that's just that. And Daniel Jones the same way. He kind of stinks against everybody, but crushes Washington. So I think they only win 8 games because of a good defense. Barkley's obviously a stud, and then and Dayball.
Daniel Jones will scramble.
But Daniel Jones, I can't live in a world where Daniel Jones is a quarterback of a double-digit win team, and that doesn't compute with me. So
especially when you don't have any big name receivers on the team.
None.
Like Waller's the biggest name on the team.
I'll say this.
And so I looked into the Giants the most this year because I was interested in Waller and all the hype and fantasy drafts and everything. So I looked into it and I'm like, that's like the worst strength of schedule in the whole league for tight ends. And I went and looked at it. Giants play a really tough schedule this year.
I was just about to say
that's what happens when you're in a tough division
stuff,
and you made the playoffs.
Their AFC East they play and the NFC West, which we know has 2 good teams. At least.
Week 3 through 10 is absolutely brutal, and then they finish the last 4 games with a brutal schedule as well. So
you said 3 through 10 is brutal, and the first game they play Dallas. So that's not exactly either.
Right, but 3 through 10 is at San Francisco, home against Seattle, at Miami, at Buffalo, home for Washington, home for the Jets, at Vegas, at Dallas.
That's
and then at Washington.
And then at Washington, and then home for New England. And then the last 4 games are at New Orleans, at Philadelphia, home for the Rams, home for Philadelphia.
So, and the game you skipped in between that is Green Bay.
Home for Green Bay. That's a fucking tough road to hoe.
Tough schedule.
Yeah, that's tough. So
that's a tough schedule.
I'm going over to 8 wins.
I'm going under because of this tough ass schedule.
Okay, all right, but yeah, 8 wins. I'm up barely over. You know, I think Vegas had a good line, 7.5. If they went 8.5, I'd feel more comfortable going under. But
if they went 8.5, I would go under, but I'm gonna go over as well.
Yeah,
it's a barely over.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So, all right.
Just
Hold
because
on.
that's
Win.
purely because I really like Brian Dable.
Win.
That's a Dayball pick, not the Giants and the rest.
Dayball defense, Barkley pick.
Yes.
Dude, I'm going under, bro. They might win 4 games this year.
They'll be better than 4 games. But your points is
But I could see it happening.
brutal.
It would be really funny for New York if they paid Daniel Jones all that money and then they win 4 games this year and he's just gone.
And then Barkley leaves.
And then Barkley leaves too. And
Well,
then
they got tough, especially if like the Jets are good. Like if the Aaron Rodgers is trash this year, that's a win for
if
them.
nobody except for the tackle, they just
If
paid
Jimmy
all that money
Garoppolo
to.
is injured, that's a
What
win
was-
for them in Vegas.
Like what a slap in the face to Barkley. you force him basically. You get him to agree to that deal, which gives him $1 more million than the franchise tag would, and then you say, oh, and the next day we're making this left tackle. We're giving him $18 million a year. Fuck you, Saquon, or $20 million a year.
It's a problem. It's a problem.
All right, I'm going under. Let's get to the last game and get the fuck out of here.
All right, so we got Washington. Their
Yes,
line is
please.
at 6.5. I'm going over just because the line's too low. Last year they won 8 games with carcass quarterback play. Sam Howell, I think, will be better than the 2 guys produced last year,
Wentz definitely better than Wentz.
and definitely better than
We'll
Heineke.
see if he's better than Heineke.
How's your offensive line look?
It's not great. It's definitely the
looks
weakness
really
of
bad.
the team.
They need.
They're
Sahadiq Charles? What the fuck is that? Who was
Sahadiq
that?
Charles.
That's a name, man.
Yeah, Sidney Charles. He was their 4th round pick 3
Yikes.
years ago. So the interior is actually better than the tackles. The tackles are the worry.
Yeah, Andrew Wiley.
Andrew
Charles
Wiley and
Leno Jr.
Leno. Yeah. Everything else is actually, like, as a fan, I'm very excited about. I love the receiver room. I like the running back room.
New owner, baby.
Yeah.
New owner.
Defensive line's always a beast.
I mean, the defense as a whole is very good.
Yeah, improved secondary this year.
Yeah, I mean, with the addition of Forbes and Martin, hopefully they add a little bit more turnover juice. So that's partially what I'm going over is I think the Vegas and the national stuff just has their number low because of Hal. I know we've had this argument about Hal many times. We're going to find out, right? In the next couple weeks.
I'm starting to believe a little bit now.
There are a lot of defenders on IR, bro.
Who?
A bunch of D linemen.
Yeah, today's
Obata,
yeah.
Curtis Brooks,
Chris Brooks isn't a dude.
Fadarian
Yeah,
Mathis,
him and Abad are the only ones that
David Bata.
not a dude. Yeah.
What about Troy Apke, corner or safety?
He's
Not a guy.
He's,
Okay.
No. He's
What about Shaka Tony? He's suspended. Is that
He
a guy?
was part of that gambling suspension ring.
Oh,
He was like their 4th or 5th defensive end. So
Okay.
not nothing crazy.
All right.
Crazy. Obviously, the health of Terry McLaurin is a concern at this point, but we even heard
I
anything.
love your offensive weapons.
I do too.
Oh, yeah.
Brian Robinson, Antonio Gibson, Terry McLaurin, Jahan Dawson, Curtis Samuel, Logan Thompson, De'Ami Brown.
Yeah, no, it's a good group. It's the best group they've had in years. So
Guys are nice.
I hope they make the playoffs this year. We'll see.
I'm a big Kendall Fuller fan as well.
No, like,
Cool.
they have a good division,
Love
but
Kendall Fuller.
Washington always plays those teams tough, and
Yeah.
they'll get a
I mean, listen, they went into Philly last year and won. I mean,
Yeah.
that not many teams can say that.
They could win a game from them again this year. They
Yeah.
could win a game.
You guys
from
always
Dallas,
ride and die with the front four.
and
If
they
your
could
front
win a
four
game
are
from
healthy-
the Giants or take both.
Right.
Who knows? But they could. I'd probably see them as 3-3.
If your front
3-3
four
division is a
Chase,
fair assessment.
That's a win. Yeah.
of your front four of Chase Young, Payne, Allen, and Sweat stay healthy and are dominant like the first the four first
That was the most
rounders like
dominant
they are,
defensive line in the.
they should. You guys are a dominant team.
Yeah.
They're in
But
San Fran.
they get injured, and unfortunately Chase Young
is the only one that's really had super injury.
I know, but they
So
all
I hope
never
they'll
are healthy
come
at the
back,
same
but
time. They
Correct,
all
yeah.
like once Chase Young gets back, then Jonathan
So
Allen will go
somebody
down.
have-
and
yeah,
Payne
yeah.
I
will go
hope they
down.
can put a healthy season together.
I
I'd love
want
to see
all
Chase
four of
Young.
If
them.
all
Stay
four,
healthy.
listen, Jerome Payne had 11 sacks last year. Jonathan had
Yes.
9.5. Like, so again, if all 4 are there, it's an
I
impressive.
love
unit.
Montez Sweat. He's a fucking huge. He's a hoss at a right the end.
He looks like a GI Joe, like a
I was
GI Joe
at,
soldier.
so in our draft last night, I got Washington
Defense?
in the second to last round.
Again, I think they're gonna get a ton of sacks.
I mean,
And
Interceptions
they don't
inside.
have. They have like a week 15 bye week or something, or week 14. It's
Right.
like really late.
The other thing you gotta like, and this is super nerdy with Washington.
I mean Davis, bro. People sleep. I love that kid. He's a fucking quick ass motherfucker.
Who?
Jamin or Hami
Oh, Yamin,
Davis.
yeah.
Yamin
Yeah.
Davis.
Hopefully they got him in the right position.
Yeah, they should. Him
He
and Barton
should
are
be-
both athletic dudes, so they should be okay. Well, this is a nerdy stat for the Commanders fans that, again, just one of those things that you hear and you really latch onto. But they have the best rest schedule in the league. Basically, what that means is, so think of a rest game. So if you play Monday night and then a team you're playing next week played on Sunday, that is a -1 day on the rest schedule. So they have the best rest schedule in the league. I think it's like plus 20. Like as far as like their whole season, the way it works out is they have 20 extra rest days compared to the rest of their opponents when it's all added up, which is the best in the league. So take that for what it's worth.
That's good.
Rest game, you always want to feel like that's an important thing.
And it's a week 14 bye.
Yeah.
Which makes it a tough, first part of the year, but that's a great bye when you
Right, kind of regroup for the playoff push. So, yeah. So I'm going over.
And you're coming out of that bye with the Rams, the Jets, the Niners, the Cowboys.
Yeah,
So hopefully a win with the Rams gets you back in football.
And then we'll see where the Jets are.
3 tough
And
games.
then the divisions. And then,
Yeah, Jets could be trashed by then. And San Francisco might not have a quarterback by then.
Or
and they might have things wrapped up and don't even care.
Exactly.
That's true.
Dallas, same.
Same.
All right.
All right, so I'm going over. What are you guys going?
I'm going just over. I'm going 7. I'm
I'm
going
going
7,
over.
8 wins.
Yeah, I'm like on the 8-9 range. So, and then, like I said,
I'm 1 game
We'll
below
see.
you in that range.
no.
All right, sick. Hell yeah, dude. All right.
Cool. All right, let's pick our
NFC.
conference champion or
Yeah.
NFC representatives. I'm going San Francisco. I just think it's their year. They've always had kind of some things bounce weirdly for them. I honestly believe they would have won the conference last year if they had a quarterback. Playing the Eagles without a quarterback isn't ideal. So
Thanks.
their defense is too good. Their skill guys are great. So again, I think San Francisco will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year.
Agreed. The Dirty Bird stays healthy all year, and with even fucking top 20 quarterback play, they make the playoffs by a big margin, and they coast. I think all their running backs stay healthy this year, so they have a good CMC Elijah Mitchell duo. George Kittle is a fucking tight end monster,
Wow.
and then Debo is the best jack of all trades of all time, almost maybe.
Maybe.
Like he's
He's
like
like
the best master of none, but like
He's like he's what the league wanted Percy Harvin to be.
oh my god, yes,
You know
yes,
what I mean?
facts,
So
yes, agreed.
That's what Percy Harvin was when he didn't have headaches.
correct.
Mhm.
The one
I think Debo's even better than what Percy Harvin was.
he's more physical.
He's
Maybe
more
not as fast,
physical,
but
not quite
like he's
fast.
more of a dude, more
He
of a
gets
baller.
the yak and he gets those 50-50
Yeah.
catches.
So
All right,
Ben.
Ben.
I mean, smart money's on San Fran.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
they're probably going to win it. But I'm going to go with the NFC North champion, the Detroit Lions.
Shut the fuck up. No,
Get
you're
out
not.
of here.
Let's
No,
go
you're
Lions.
not. Are you serious?
Lions.
All right.
No, you're not.
Loser.
Lions, baby. NFC champion.
Okay, well Ben lost. All right, now it's Super Bowl. So if you remember your AC picks, I had the Dolphins. Okay, so I have the Dolphins versus 49ers, which by the way would be a baller Super Bowl.
That'd be pretty sweet.
You talk about two high-flying offenses, the Daniels-Shanahan connection,
Yeah.
the marquee franchises, San Francisco, Miami,
In that
Tua on the
situation.
rebound. Like again, the mystery realm goes Super Bowl. Like the storylines would be endless. It'd be a fantastic Super Bowl. And then I'm gonna have the Miami Dolphins win the Super Bowl.
What?
Yeah,
In
I
that situation,
All
San
right.
Fran wins the Super Bowl.
I think Miami.
no,
I think Daniels draws up some stuff. While the San Francisco defense is filthy, the corners are not great. Compared to the rest of the guys, and I think Tyreek Hill and Waddle explode over the top against San Francisco if they play.
I think their defensive line explodes up the middle and sacks
It
Tua
beats
a
Tua.
ton of times.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah, San Francisco in that scenario.
So I got Miami beating San
What
Francisco.
about you in that scenario? Miami versus San Fran. Who do you got?
Probably take San Fran, but it'd be fun to see Miami win.
All right, so my scenario is San Fran versus Kansas City.
That's right. You also great rematch a couple
Yeah.
years
A
ago.
rematch
Yeah.
a couple last year or a couple
2
years
years
ago.
3 years ago.
I don't remember.
No, it was 3 years ago. Yeah.
I think Kansas City gets it done in
Okay.
that scenario.
Okay. All right.
I'm not betting against Patrick
No.
Mahomes. He's going to
So,
do something.
Ben's got the
wild.
dumb one. The Ravens and the Lions.
My Super Bowl involves probably the two cleanest, less crime cities, the best well-behaved cities in
Whoa.
America.
Chicago has his famous stay,
Yeah. Chicago, stand up.
and Philadelphia,
So the
and New York.
cleanest, the most crime-free cities in all of America.
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens, Charm City versus
By the way,
Motor City.
If
Detroit
Ben's
Lions.
Super Bowl happens, it's
Definitely-
it's the worst Super Bowl ever.
Definitely not a rematch. It's definitely never happened in NFL history before.
Rematch of the season.
It will be a rematch of the
Ew.
game of the year, Week 7.
Oh my god.
Week 7, game of the year.
No.
It will be the highest scoring Super Bowl of all
No,
time. if it happens.
no. First of all, no, it won't.
If it happens,
it might be the lowest.
Nope. The
Okay,
Lions
if that
versus
happens-
the Ravens. If it happens, it's the highest scoring Super Bowl of all
I'm
time.
trashing
No.
the Super Bowl
No.
because it's gonna suck leading up
No.
to it.
Watch
The
it.
game's gonna suck.
Watch,
and it's
I'm
gonna
gonna,
be so
I'm
bad.
gonna
What
bomb
happens?
every fantasy team this year, and that's gonna come true. Watch.
Justin Tucker kicks the longest Super Bowl. win
Yes,
field
to
goal.
win. Yes,
Yes.
70.
By the way, he has the
No.
record. He broke the record beating the
I
Lions.
know.
He has to,
76 yards.
No. He's gonna have the
Detroit Lions.
No.
Ravens win.
He just beat
56, 54.
He just beats the postseason record, not the NFL, not the regular season record. He's not going to kick a 66-yarder. He's going to kick like a 63-yarder, beat the postseason record, and win
Ravens
against the
win
Lions.
56, 54. Highest scoring
Ben-
Super Bowl all time.
Ben's
Justin
picks
Tucker
are-
instantly the Hall of Fame.
Ben made his picks, not realizing though that you actually had to like make your picks. So it's kind of like when you're in a fantasy draft and you're at like you get to like round 6 or 7, you go, "Oh, I'm missing people. I need like a running back."
Why do I
need
have
this."
7 bench receivers?
Yeah,
and no
exactly.
running back
Exactly.
or quarterback?
That's what Ben just said. He goes, "Oh, I did pick the Lions and the Ravens. Oh fuck."
Well, we're 7 picks in, and I have only 3 starters.
Yeah, exactly. Like that's what Ben did. He just
I have
stumped.
the 3 best kickers in the league.
His heart led him astray, and then when you know the
Or-
light was shining on him, he went, "Oh fuck."
Or it just led me to the fate, to destiny, to what's actually going to happen.
All right,
Again, that would be the worst Super Bowl ever if it was the Ravens and the Lions.
this is a long ass podcast. Let's get the fuck
It
out
wouldn't.
of here.
I mean, it wouldn't set a record for viewers, but it'd be really exciting. Everyone,
No, it wouldn't.
no one would watch, and they'd be so bummed afterwards because it was the highest scoring Super Bowl.
I
of all
might
time.
come to Jordan's house and like watch something else on another TV just to entertain myself.
I'm literally changing the channel.
Yeah, exactly. Not like the commercial did either, but
They're
real
like
life.
giving away commercial spots in the Super Bowl. No one's watching.
Exactly. All right, it's been a long episode. We're gonna get on out of here. So thanks you guys for listening. Please give us a like, share, and follow on all our social media accounts. You can find us on Facebook, Insta, and Twitter. Also on YouTube. As you're watching us, please hit that subscribe button. More people that do that, the better. And we got some cool. Again, it's the fall. We got a lot of stuff to talk about as far as tailgate, holidays, football, a million different things. Next week we will hopefully have a guest on. We're still working out the details on that. If not, we'll do something else. We'll be ready to rock and roll regardless. So with that note, we're gonna sign on out of here. This is your boy T Wade.
Benjamin Augustus.
And
Keep living the dream.
Go Ravens and Lions.